Hello everybody, Shell here at the Marine Science Center, and I'm here today with Bubba. Bubba is one of our animal ambassadors and he is in the raptor family. Can you guess what kind of raptor he is? Right, an owl, yes, exactly. So as well as owls in the raptor family, there are eagles, hawks, ospreys, falcons, and owls. So today we're going to talk to you a little bit about owls and how cool they are. Because you are really cool, aren't you? And this is Bubba, and he is a great horned owl. He's one of our animal ambassadors here at the Marine Science Center. And the Marine Science Center, we're located at Ponce Inlet in Florida. And we are a bird and turtle hospital, as well as being an educational center. So when you come and visit us, you will actually meet birds like Bubba, who are our animal ambassadors. You'll also meet some of our residents, reptiles. I'm in my reptile room, as I call it, the classroom, and we have 5 live reptiles. We also have stingrays and sharks in our touch tank, so there's lots to do and see at the Marine Science Center, right, Bubba? Yeah. So ornithology is the study of birds, isn't it? And if you were a bird watcher, you would be wanting to find that bird that you've never seen, and you're going to go around the world to find that elusive bird that you can write on your life list. And so sometimes birds' names will give us an idea. If I said blue jay, you'd say, oh, it's a blue bird. So if I said great horned owl, right? Great, he's big, isn't he? So, and horns, look at this. Do they look like horns? Let's show them your horns. Let's see. Look at him. These are not actually horns, these are just feathers, and they're called plumicons. Now, if you notice through the presentation, I will be touching Bubba like this. And the reason that I'm able to touch Bubba is because he's been with us since he was a fledgling. He's had human interaction his whole life, and it's very important for when you're working with a bird like this to be able to interact with him, because if we wanted to trim his toenails or do an examination, to be able to touch him without him being afraid or spooked, we wouldn't have to hood him, and he's much more comfortable with that. Now, you might notice that he's doing this little panting. Can you guys see that? So birds will do that. One, they will do it to actually excrete or give off heat. But Bubba, he's doing it just, it's his way. He'll do it all the time. A lot of the times he's doing it, but it's a way of just being a little bit unsure of what's going on. He's not very used to being right in front of the camera, are you, Bubba? So during this time of all this virtual and videoing, he's getting used to it like all of us. So if I tuck him in a little bit closer like this, he's usually a little bit more comfortable. Or maybe if I walk a little bit further away from the camera, but I'm gonna have to talk louder. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Bubba and the adaptations that he would need, the characteristics of the owl, this specific owl, to be able to survive in the environment that he's in. Now, you will find great horned owls in most of the environments around the world. The only place you probably wouldn't find him is in the open ocean. And he is an apex predator, so he's at the top of the food chain. So, as well as having these plumicons, and these plumicons are going to be able to tell other birds what he's feeling and how he's doing. So it's kind of like us smiling. Those are what he's using those for. Now, he's got really massive eyes, hasn't he? Look at those eyes. We'll talk about him from head to toe. Those eyes are used to be able to hunt and see at night, because he is a nocturnal raptor, which means he comes out in the night. And if you and I had owl's eyes, our eyes would be about the size of grapefruits. Now, massive, right? So we can do something he can't do. We can actually look up, look down, round and round. His eyes are so big, they're fixed in his head. So what does an owl have to do with his head? So to be able to be a good hunter, let's see if we can get him to do it. Whoa, that was pretty good. So he can turn his head about 270. He can do that because if you feel in the back of your neck here, you have these things called cervical vertebrae. Those are your neck bones. And humans have 7. He's got 14. So it's enabling him to be able to turn his head to see a lot further around because he can't move his eyes in his sockets. And he's able to then, as he's flying, swooping down to go get something in the night, he's able to keep his head really still and his body will move. Got your wobble body going on there, huh? Very good. You're so amazing. Now, he does have ears like we do on the sides of his head. It's just a little hole in there. He doesn't have earlobes like we do, but what he is going to do, he's going to use these feather discs around his eyes. You can see those feather discs. That's going to catch the sound and it's going to transfer it to his ear, and by the time it hits the other ear, he's going to know exactly which way it's coming from. He's amazing. You're awesome, aren't you? Then he's going to swoop down off his tree in the nighttime. He's going to swoop down, and if I were to show you, this is the wing of another great horned owl. Now listen to this, listen. Can't hear anything, can you? They have the ability to be stealthy, silent flight. It's the way that the feathers are designed. They're kind of frilled on the edges and they have this nice soft downy fluff in there to be able to be stealthy flyers. At nighttime, that's very important because, you know, if you're scurrying around as a little mouse in the environment and you heard something coming, you would want to run. So during the daytime, for instance, this is a bald eagle feather. They are actually daytime hunters, diurnal, and listen to this. So just one feather, you can hear that, but they can usually fly a lot faster than we can, so they're able to grab their prey. Now, to be able to grab their prey, pretty cool. They're going to use these wonderful talons. These are the claws on their feet. Can you guys see that? Now, they have the ability to grab and ratchet on, click, click, click. It's going to go right through the bone and snap the neck of the prey. And then they're going to use that massive beak, look at that beak, to rip and tear. No teeth, they don't have teeth. But when they're ripping and tearing, and then they're gobbling up big chunks of whatever they're eating. Now, do you remember I said he's an apex predator? So he's going to eat anything from small insects, lizards, snakes, rats, mice, shrews, pocket gophers, rabbits, skunk. Oh, yes, he loves skunk. That's one of his favorites. Birds, a lot of birds don't have a very good sense of smell, so skunk's no big deal for him, which is pretty cool. Now, unlike us, he eats the bones. He loves to eat bones and fur and feathers, and he's going to swallow those, but the same as us, he can't digest them. We leave them on the plate, but when he swallows them, they're going to go into this forestomach called a proventriculus, and it kind of looks like that. And then what he's going to do is it's going to roll around all the bone and the fluff and the fur, and then when he's ready to eat again, he's going to go and he's going to throw up, he's going to regurgitate, barf, puke, whatever you call it, and he's going to throw this up. And you can actually see this is an owl pellet. Was that from you? No, it wasn't. This was one we got from, just like if you dissect them, you get them from a place where they've cooked them, so this is okay to touch. Now, the cool thing about owl pellets is you can do something called dissect them. They indicate things to us. They can tell us a lot about the environment. So if you were to get some diagrams of different skeletons of animals, this was a rat skeleton, and then you dissect or you pull apart that owl pellet, and then you actually go ahead and put all the bones onto this piece of paper, onto the diagram. Look at that. It's a whole rat skeleton. Now, if we were to only find, say, amphibian bones, frog bones, what's that going to tell us? Remember I said he eats so many things and we only find frog bones in an owl pellet? Maybe somebody's been using a pesticide in the environment. So this can tell us a lot about what's going on if it's a healthy ecosystem, right, Bubba? It can. So let's talk about something else. Now you notice I have him on this glove because obviously he's got the big talons. And I'm holding him on one arm. So what do you think? How much do you think he weighs? Now, I'm going to give you a clue as to maybe a good guess. And I'm going to show you a pelican wing bone. Now this is a pelican wing bone. I'm holding it with one hand. It's actually hollow inside. And if I told you to go and find a ruler, this ruler right here, or just any ruler in the house, these are about the same weight. What? So birds' bones are hollow. They're very light. So now what was your guess? He's about 3.3 pounds. That's amazing, isn't it? Most of his weight is feather weight, isn't it? It's got about 4,000 feathers. And we'll show you a little bit. Let's see if we can, nope. Okay, he's not going to let me do that right now. Usually he'll let me show you how much his feathers go. Let's see. There we go. You see how far my finger goes in? Wow, look at that. So he is mostly feathers. Thanks, Bubba. You are doing so good. You are doing really well. And if I was to ask you, ooh, is Bubba a male or a female? What do you think? From his name, you would probably guess male. Buboacio is his scientific name. But we do think he's a male because females are actually a little bit bigger. Right, Bubba. And females do something that male birds don't do. Once they become an adult, they're going to lay eggs. Now, there's no sexual morphism. There's no color difference in the feathers between male and female raptors. And so this is why it's very difficult to tell if it's a male or a female. But if you've got two together and one's bigger, and then you see one has laid eggs, then you're like, oh, that's the female. Right, Bubs? And we think he's a male because he's been with us since 2008 here at the Science Center. And he was just about a fledgling, which means he was just about ready to leave the tree and fly. And he fell out and he fractured his left shoulder. And so when he came through the bird rehabilitation process, he didn't quite pass flight school. So he's not strong enough to go back in the wild. And this is the reason I actually have him with this leash on, and these jesses are connected to his feet, so he's nice and safe on the glove and he's not going to go anywhere. So he's able to come out and meet our guests and educate them on the importance of helping our environment and the animals that live in it. We lost a big population of raptors in the 60s, or before the 60s. There was a thing called DDT, which was a pesticide that was being used to control the rodent population. Well, you know, everything comes up the food chain, so who was eating those tainted rodents and mice and rats? So we lost a big population of raptors. When they banned DDT, raptor populations started rising, but because now we're losing a lot of habitats, now there's a lot of more raptors getting hurt. So if you notice around the country, we've got a lot more raptor rehabilitations. So what we need to do is create habitats for them. You know, don't chop down an old tree. They love to, you know, nest. I have a little tree over here. They like to do cavity nesting, some of the owls. And so you want to leave as much habitat. You can see this one here. This is pretty cool. This is an eastern screech owl. They're a cavity nester, and you can hardly see him on there. Did you notice that there is an owl in the middle right here? Right here, you can just see him. Right there, look, he's peeking through. So the camouflage in an area that they're going to live in is amazing. All right, I think that we have finished telling everybody about you and how amazing you are. Isn't he wonderful? And so what we'll do is we will sign off with Bubba saying bye-bye, and I will say I'll shell you later and hope to see you when you visit the Marine Science Center. Come in and say hi to me and Bubba. And okay, Bubba, you ready to wave bye? All right, bye, Bubba. You're great. I love you.